So this is embarrassing. I've already recorded this video once, but I didn't have my mic plugged in, so it just sounded awful for anyone listening. So yeah, here I am, doing this again. Let's get into it. What's up everybody, Vanguard1 here, and welcome back to another VR review video. Now we are on our third VR for the newest set, Phantom Dragon Aeon. And I think this VR is a big one people are really looking out for, because it's the Tachikaze VR. Now, as I shall give peace to Angerblader, rest in peace, we will miss you. You made Tachikaze good for a while, but for some reason Bushy was like, fuck that, and banned you. But for our new VR today, hopefully we'll fix some mistakes that Bushiroad made with Angerblader, and we'll make Tachikaze finally a good deck now. Like, up until now, Tachikaze has been a very decent deck. And when I mean decent, I mean decent. If you were to ask me to give the definition of a decent deck in Vanguard, I would say Tachikaze, because that's all they were. They weren't that good, but they weren't that bad. They could score some wins. It just was a very gray area deck. But hopefully this VR today will be able to fix those problems and maybe bring it a bit higher in the meta. Without further ado, let's get into his skill. Emperor Dragon Gaia Emperor. Continuous on Vanguard during your turn, all of your rearguards with an equipped gauge get plus 5,000 power. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, they get plus 10,000 power instead of plus 5,000. So off the bat, that already seems like a very good skill, because it's not hard to get all of your units in equip gauge. If maybe not all of your units, then most of your units in equip gauge. And 5k alone is just good enough, because if you can set up a column and both those have equip gauges, that's already like a plus 10k column. That's better than what Night Rose is doing now. The plus 10,000 I feel like just salt on the wound. For his second skill, Auto on Vanguard when it attacks cost Counterblast 1 and retire a rearguard, and this unit gets the original power of the unit retired for the cost until end of battle. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, it gets the original critical as well. So that also seems really good. I'm very weirded out by the fact it doesn't give any equip gauges to units, because I know Angerblader gave equip gauges, but it just feels weird that this doesn't. Now, this isn't a bad skill. Let me get that out of the way right now. This is not a bad skill by any means necessary, but I feel like there's a little more to be desired. As to whether or not this will bring Tachikaze up, well, I think we'll just have to see, because I feel like the skill is too basic to make any like future predictions, because it's not bad. Originally, when Bushiroad was doing the whole, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, that made those decks going second decks. For instance, like Gancelot, Mordred, I think Narukami had that requirement, I don't know. But those were really meant to be going second decks. This gives it options for going first or second, because it could be good either way. Whether or not your opponent's on grade 3 or greater, the plus 10,000 is nice, but plus 5,000 is still good enough. And yes, it does suck a little bit, just a tiny bit, that you have to wait till your opponent rides to grade 3 to get the critical from his second skill, but the power alone is good enough because it makes guarding a bit difficult for your opponent, and I think it's really good. Plus, with all your rearguard skills of being retired while they have an equip gauge, I feel like that's pretty good. But let's see what this holds up to the original version in the G era. Emperor Dragon Gaia Emperor G version. Auto on Vanguard or Rearguard Engorge, its keyword. When this unit attacks, you may retire one or more of your other rearguards. If you do, it is engorged until end of turn. Auto on Vanguard Counterblast 1. When your G units stride during your turn, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose up to 2 cards from your hand and call them to separate rearguard circles. Choose up to 2 of your units until end of turn, they get this skill. Auto. When this unit is retired from rearguard during your turn, you may call this card to rearguard. Then continuous on Vanguard Generation Break 2, if this unit is engorged, this unit gets plus 5,000 power and plus 1 critical. So I feel like G version Emperor, I feel like G version Gaia is slightly better than V version, mainly because of the skill where you get to call your rearguards back from after getting retired because of his engorge. Now I know we have plenty of other cards in the deck that can call stuff back while they have an equip gauge and stuff like that, but I feel like this is just a tiny bit better. Now, they didn't draw too much from the G version over to the V version, but I feel like they drew just enough for this to be for this to be a viable skill. So if you ask me, I think this is still a good VR. It's just not, it doesn't live up to Anger Blader, which is kind of what we needed. Well, that's not what we needed. I just, personally, I feel like Tachikaze deserved a spot in the broken OP deck spot for a while. But sadly, that doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Now, like I've said before, maybe there's some future cards that'll come out that'll make this skill completely broken, or maybe pull off a nice broken combo. Maybe there's an old combination of cards I'm not thinking about that can make this skill really good. But we'll never know until we actually see play from the cards. Let me know what you think of this card in the comments below, and if you do, make sure to like this video. When you like this video, if you'd be so kind to press that subscribe button will then allow you to press the notification bell. The notification bell lets you get notified every time I upload a video. Now, further on this week, we're getting Phantom Blaster Overlord, which I'm very excited for. I'm probably going to be gushing over that card for a while. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.